Good morning and welcome to the 2026 Weld County Fair Cattle Show. We ordered a nice cool day for this one. Hope you sit back and enjoy the events that take place under the tent today. We are starting the show with showmanship classes. So our first class is a pre-junior, 8 and 9-year-old, and we have a single entry, Tori Brazil.
We just have one entry in this class. So far, she's doing an amazing job. She's got a pretty good sized animal. She's able to handle it well. Um, I think she deserves her first place in this class. She needs to keep up the good work. Okay.
Congratulations to Tori Brazil from Windsor, Colorado, a member of the Severance 4 H Club. First place in the pre junior dairy cattle showmanship class. Our next class is junior dairy cattle showmanship, exhibitors 10 to 11 years old. And we should have 3 exhibitors here: Claire Spower, Elizabeth Elliott, and Daisy Hoffman.
Okay, for our junior showman, I think we have some really good potential coming up. I talked to each one of them about a little bit of things they could work on. I'm going to start out with this one right here. Go ahead and lead on out. Um, she was the one that watched me the most and had her presented her animal a little bit more consistent than the other two. I told her I'd like to see her keep her heifer's head up a little bit higher, and I did ask them some questions. All of them need to kind of know something about their animal, because I asked age, what they ate, and how long they've had their animal, and breeds. So need to know a little bit about the dairy, the breeds and what your animal is eating, a little bit more about your animal. But she's coming along very well. She tends to want to look down a little bit too much, but and as she walks out when the judge is wanting her to move, she should be walking a little more brisk and move forward. And the one in third place did a really good job with the size of animal she has. It's her first year. She didn't really give me what breed the animal was. She did give me her birthday and what the animal ate. I'd like to see her with two hands on the lead, because if she would happen to get spooked, she might just be able to bolt away from her. I like two hands on the lead and the halter. So, okay.
Congratulations to Claire Spower from Johnstown, a member of Calico and Jeans 4-H Club. First place in the junior division of dairy cattle showmanship. Followed in second by Daisy Hoffman from Greeley, a member of Horse Whisperers. And third to Elizabeth Elliott from LaSalle, a member of the High Plains 4-H Club. We now move to the intermediate age for showmanship. These are exhibitors ages 12 through 14. And I believe we have 9 entries in this class. Trey DeJager, Tyson Brazil, Penelope Espinosa, Julia Spower, Kinsley Dutcher, Zoe Hoffman, Kendra Arpin, Molly Helzer, and Vanessa Espinosa. This would also be an opportune time to introduce our judge for today, Tina Pullman. Tina is a Colorado native who grew up on a dairy milking cows and feeding calves. She competed for 10 years in the 4-H Dairy Cattle Project and moved directly to a 4-H Dairy Cattle Project leader, a role she has served for 35 years. She fortunately got a great start working at a world-known Holstein herd in Louisville, Colorado called Paclamar Farms at the age of 16, where she got her first registered Holstein heifer that she exhibited through 4-H and at the State Fair in Pueblo. She worked for Paclamar for 6 years, where she met her husband Ricky, and she continued working there until the herd was dispersed. From there, she's milked at multiple other herds throughout Boulder and Weld counties, giving owners an opportunity for much needed time off and long awaited vacations. Her father was an equipment operator, and she stayed for approximately 25 years there until the company was sold. She's retired now and milking and operating equipment and dabbling with 25 head of brown Swiss that her son owns and leases out to 4-H kids. Now her full-time job is working with kids who want to learn about dairy cattle, hauling them to and from dairy judging and to multiple shows within the state of Colorado and the National Brown Swiss Show in Oklahoma. Please help me to welcome Tina Pullman, our judge.
Let's give a round of applause to this nice class. We have a lot of great potential coming up. Um, Overall, the class did very well. Everybody needs to learn parts of your animal. You all should have a idea what your animal weighs, especially in the dairy industry. If there's any kind of medications that need to be given, you do not want to overdo it in the dairy. So that's one of the questions I asked every one of them, and some were pretty close. You know, it's a guess, but they need a better idea. Some of them were considerably off. So I'm going to start with this young man here. He, to me, watched the judge the most. He knew most of the parts. He was pretty close on the weight of his animal. So I think he did a exceptional job. The first three, I think, were pretty close placings overall. It was based on how they answered the question, a little bit more knowledge on, parts. So that was, both of these did a very nice job watching the judge, leading out with their animal's head up, presenting their animal the best. And as we go down the line, we had some really good showmen. There again, it was based on more knowledge on these placings, on knowing the weights, knowing parts, and as we go further down the line, the animal and the showman weren't working quite as well as a team. In showmanship, you want to work as a team, and some of them were still fighting a little bit. The older animals, the replacement animals, seemed to have a little more trouble trying to keep their animal leading, a little more control, but they don't have that animal that long. So overall, I think the class was a very good class. Most watched the judge very well. They watched their spacing, had heads up. Just, this is how I placed it for today's class.
Thank you to Judge Tina Pullman for placing that very competitive class of intermediate dairy cattle showmen. Results from that class first goes to Tyson Brazil from Windsor, a member of Severance 4-H Club. Second to Molly Helzer from LaSalle, a member of Platte River Ag 4-H. Third to Kinsley Dutcher from Fort Lupton, a member of Platte River Pioneers 4-H Club. Fourth to Kendra Arpin from Eaton, a member of the Small Town Critters Club. Fifth goes to Vanessa Espinosa from Fort Lupton, a member of Platte River Pioneers 4-H Club. Sixth to Julia Spower from Johnstown, a member of Calico and Jeans 4-H. Seventh to Zoe Hoffman from Greeley, a member of Horse Whisperers 4-H. Eighth to Penelope Espinosa from Severance, a member of the Severance 4-H Club. And ninth to Trey Dieger from Greeley. And I don't have a club for him, but those are your results, and congratulations to all those exhibitors. Now we move to the senior division of showmanship. These are exhibitors 15 years of age and up. And we've got 18 exhibitors signed up for this class. So I would also like to recognize Tessa Goodman, our Weld County Fair attendant. She is here helping to pass out the awards for the Dairy Show. Tessa is 15 years old and a sophomore at Eaton High School and a member of the cheer team there. She additionally is active in both the Eden FFA chapter and Eden FCCLA. She's an 8-year member of the Small Town Critters 4-H Club, where she serves as the club secretary. And in 4-H, she participates in artistic clothing, scrapbooking, home decor, and shows market goats. So thank you for being here, Tessa, and for helping us with the awards. Let's recognize Tessa for her work.
I think it's red if it's low on battery, but I'll leave this. If we need to plug this in, it should be able to just come right into here. If we wanna keep using those, or we can swap over to the wired one.
Okay, we're going to start out with this young lady here with the tall, upstanding, strong, deep-bodied heifer. She carries a little more depth of body, length of body overall over our second place animal. I will grant the second place animal has a tremendous rump and extremely sharp and prominent over the top line. So both those animals are very semi-close in placing. We go to a smaller animal, third over four. She's a little smaller, but she's more prominent, sharper over the top line, a little stronger in the loin. I will grant that fourth place is a longer-bodied animal, but she doesn't. The fourth place animal doesn't have the depth of rib or the correctness on her legs. Fourth over fifth. Both these animals are, I'd like to see a little more rib on them. Both are very strong over the top line, not quite as sharp and prominent over the top line as the animals above them in the class today.
She might have, yeah, she probably hit to mute it if she was done. Yeah, it's still good. Yeah, if she did, that's probably enough. I'll take this cord and have it here just in case. We'll have the cord for this in case it gets low. And I'll try and find a cable to plug it in if we need to.
Okay, we are back on track with our technology here. Hopefully, it will hold out for us for the rest of the show. But a couple of results, real quick, before I give the mic back to our judge. In the other breeds spring heifer calf class, first place was Kiliana Brewer. And in the Holstein spring heifer calf class, first was Kiliana Brewer, second, Vanessa Espinoza, third, Kendra Arpin, fourth, Claire Spower, and fifth, Daisy Hoffman. Now back to our judge.
Another animal that is very upstanding. Like to see more competition in the class. Very deep, very sharp, very prominent over the top line. Tremendous rump. She travels pretty well on her feet and legs. Like to see more competition for her today.
In our other breeds winter heifer calf class, first place goes to Kiliana Brewer with her Guernsey heifer. And we now move to the Jersey winter heifer calf class. I'd like to go back and announce the results from our senior showmanship class. First place in the senior showmanship is Braden Carpio from Kersey, member of Westward 4-H Club. Second to Conrad Hirsch from Eaton, a member of the Severance 4-H Club. Third place to Rowan Glenn from Windsor, a member of Severance FFA. Fourth to Brody Jones, Fort Collins, Colorado, a member of Severance 4-H Club. Fifth to Denham Dutcher from Fort Lupton, a member of Platte River Pioneers. Sixth to Mackenzie Cedar from Eaton, a member of Eaton FFA. Seventh, Connor Espinosa from Severance, a member of Severance 4-H Club. Eighth, Gentry Jones from Fort Collins, a member of Severance 4-H Club. Ninth, Tanner Brazil from Windsor, also a member of Severance 4-H Club. And 10th place, Cameron DeYager from Greeley, a member of Country Boots and Skirts.
Another single entry here. Again, it'd be really good to have a little competition here, but she is extremely deep, very, very good Springer rib, and extremely thin in her thigh. She's very dairy, got a lot of dairy characteristics. Just need more competition here. I'm going to start with this young lady here with her heifer. She's a taller, longer animal than the one I have in second. Granted, both of them are very deep, great spring rib, very prominent over the top line. One just has a little more, has more length of body and a little bit more length between hooks to pins. Um, Third place or second over third is more to the depth of body, spring of rib, and a little more being more prominent over the top line. Not, not taking anything away from this third place heifer. She's very long, shows a lot of dairy character. She just doesn't have it to quite place higher in the class today for me.
Results from the Holstein Winter Heifer Calf class. First place to Braden Carpio from Kersey, a member of Westward 4-H Club. Second also to Braden Carpio. And third place to Zoe Hoffman from Greeley, a member of Horse Whisperers 4-H Club. We now have a single entry in the Other Breeds Fall Heifer Calf class.
Another nice single entry on this Swiss. Um, well deserving of a first place. Like to see some more competition. I'd like to see her be walking more uphill. Currently, she's walking downhill a little bit, but she has a very strong, prominent top line. Very nice animal.
And first place in our Other Breeds Fall Heifer Calf class goes to Mackenzie Cedar from Eaton, a member of Eaton FFA. Next in the ring is the Holstein Fall Heifer Calf class. We should have 4 entries.
Nice class of heifers. I'd take any one of them home. I'm going to start with the taller, more upstanding Holstein. Um, very sharp, very second place is there, very strong, very hard topped. She might be a little more correct on her hind legs than the one in first, but I just going with a little deeper bodied animal right now. 3/4, primarily over prominence of the top line. Number 3 is sharper over the withers, a little cleaner through the hooks and pins. Travels a little bit straighter on her more correct set of feet and legs. The one in fourth to me is carrying a little more condition over the top line, a little thicker in the thigh, and those are my placings for this class. Very good class.
Results from the Holstein Fall Heifer Calf class. First to Braden Carpio from Kersey, a member of Westward 4-H. Second to Molly Helzer from LaSalle, a member of Platte River Ag 4-H. Third to Julia Spower from Johnstown, a member of Calico and Jeans 4-H Club. And fourth to Brooklyn Pepin from Windsor, a member of Severance 4-H Club. We now move into our yearling classes and start with the spring yearling heifer of other breeds, a single entry.
Another single entry. Nice Swiss heifer here. Deep bodied, sharp over the top line. Like to see more competition with her today. The only thing I think I'd like to correct on her would bring her pins up a little bit more. It's a little more, rump is a little more sloping than I'd like to see. But otherwise, she's a very nice, strong heifer.
First place in the other breeds spring yearling heifer class goes to Kinsley Dutcher from Fort Lupton, a member of Platte River Pioneers 4-H. We now have a single entry in the Holstein spring yearling heifer.
Single entry here as well. Very tall, upstanding, sharp heifer. Very clean in her thighs, deep ribbed, open ribbed heifer. I love her rump. Her pins might be a touch higher than her hooks, but overall, very prominent, long length in the rump. Nice heifer.
That was Braden Carpio winning first place in the Holstein Spring Yearling Heifer class. Braden's from Kersey, a member of Westward 4-H Club. We now have a Jersey Winter Yearling Heifer.
Nice Jersey heifer. I'd like to see a little more depth of rib on her, but overall very long, very sharp, prominent. She's due to calve in December. She's looking really nice. So good luck with her.
Denham Dutcher has the first place Jersey Winter Yearling Heifer. Denham is from Fort Lupton, a member of Platte River Pioneers 4-H. And now we move to the Holstein Winter Yearling, a single entry.
single entry here, another deserving of first. Very powerful in the front end, wide chested, walks very correct on her front end. She's carrying a little more flesh than I'd like to see. She's a little over conditioned, but she is due in November. So, she's just a little over conditioned for right now, but she's well deserving of her first place.
Congratulations to Samantha Kimbrio from Johnstown, a member of Calico and Jeans 4-H Club, with her first place Holstein Winter Yearling. We now move to the Fall Yearling division. Well, starting with the other breeds, we have 2 entries, Kinsley Dutcher and Denham Dutcher.
There's 2 in this class. I think it's a fairly close placing, but I think I'm going to go over feet and legs for correctness of feet and legs with this first place heifer. She's a little over conditioned. Granted that the second place is a little less over conditioned. Both of them are a little over conditioned. They're both due about the same time, but I like first place's feet and legs better. She travels a little more correct when she travels than the second place. Both are are dairy, but I think the correctness of feet and legs goes over the little more dairyness today in the second place heifer.
In the other breeds fall yearling heifer class, first place goes to Kinsley Dutcher from Fort Lupton, a member of the Platte River Pioneers 4-H Club. And second place goes to Denham Dutcher, also Fort Lupton and Platte River Pioneers 4-H Club. We now have a single entry in the Jersey fall yearling heifer class.
Nice Jersey heifer, deep-bodied, long-bodied. Um, it's a shame she doesn't have more competition today, but we'll see her again in the championship round.
Braden Carpio from Kersey has the winning entry in the Jersey fall yearling heifer class. And we now have a single entry in the Holstein fall yearling heifer class.
It's a shame she didn't have competition right now, but she will coming up. I'll be seeing her again. Nice, tall heifer, very angular. Um, so we will see her later. She's very strong on her feet and legs, powerful front end, like the heifer.
In the fall yearling heifer class, first place goes to Abigail Chapman from Longmont, a member of the Valley FFA chapter. We're now moving into our dairy heifer replacement project heifer class. We've got 20 entries in this class. So what we're doing is dividing that class in two. So we'll have 10 entries come. The judge will pick out a random number, 3, 4, 5, whatever she decides from that class. The second group will come in. She will do likewise, picking out a few from that class, and then those that are selected will come back for the actual placings in the dairy heifer replacement program. These heifers are the ones that will be auctioned off this afternoon right here under the tent at 1 o'clock or so. So if you're interested in purchasing any of these heifers, they'll have some additional information on them a little bit later on. I'll go ahead and read the names of all of the individuals that have a replacement heifer. We have Rowan Glenn from Windsor, Madison Carson from Greeley, Brooke Morgan from LaSalle, Elizabeth Elliott from LaSalle, Lucy Hernandez from Eaton, Cameron Hoosie from Stoneham, Trey Dieger from Greeley, Tyson Brazil from Windsor, Tori Brazil from Windsor, and Tanner Brazil from Windsor, Addison Hoosie from Stoneham, Connor Espinoza from Severance, Conrad Hirsch from Eaton, Molly Helzer from LaSalle, Lila Dieger from Greeley, Gentry Jones from Fort Collins, Brody Jones from Fort Collins, Julia Spower from Johnstown, Cameron Dieger from Greeley, and Penelope Espinosa from Severance. When these heifers are auctioned off, if you want to support an individual or individuals, but don't necessarily want to buy a heifer, they do have provisions where you can add on to the purchase price for any or all of the exhibitors. So please take advantage of that and support these youth who have worked hard with their heifers and are presenting them to you today.
On the those on the line, you can be excused.
So Judge Tina Pullman has selected a few heifers from this first heat in our dairy heifer replacement, and the rest are being excused. How about a round of applause for those that are being excused? They've done a good job of showing their heifers. And again, all the heifers will be coming back in here for the sale this afternoon. So please stick around and support them. If you're interested in purchasing a heifer or even just adding on, they will be set up here a little bit later at the announcer stand to get your buyer's information and get you registered for the sale. So uh, please come up here after the show is over and get signed up for that. And now the second heat of our dairy heifer replacement animals are coming into the ring.
those still on the rail. Nice heifers, just doesn't quite have the, most are a little over condition. Ra- Those on the rail may exit. Um, I said that nice heifers, but they just don't quite have the dariness that I'd like to see in them to place any higher today or to go up in this big class. I'm sure they're all going to milk well. Not all milk cows are show cows.
Okay, once again, let's recognize those exhibitors that are leaving the ring with their heifers. They're not going to place in the top end today, but they are all nice heifers, as Judge Tina pointed out, and they will be all for sale come 1 o'clock at our dairy heifer replacement sale. We will now bring the heifers that were selected in the first heat back out, and all of these will compete for the replacement heifer class.
very nice group of heifers. Even the ones that I sent out, I would, for dairy, I think any one of them would have been great milk cows. Um, just, like I said, not all milk cows, or they're milk cows. They're not all show cows. So I'm looking more for an ideal type. This first place heifer I have here right now, very tall, upstanding, sharp over the top line, thin thighs, deep bodied. Second place follows right in that line. Very deep bodied, excellent Springer rib. I will grant the third place over second is a longer bodied cow, a little longer from hooks to pins. Very, very dairy cow. Then we start getting into what I call more of an average type cows, but they are still very, very dairy, deep bodied, sharp over the top line, nice rumps, width and hooks and pins. More as we get down lower in the class, I think I was going more on feet and legs. Rumps being a little bit longer, more level, tailhead sitting down a little bit more. But all very deep-bodied cows, nice Springer ribs. I'd take any one of these cows home for put in the herd. So, good class.
Results from the Dairy Heifer Replacement Project class. First place goes to Molly Helzer from LaSalle, a member of Platte River Ag 4-H. Second to Tyson Brazil from Windsor, a member of Severance 4-H. Third to Conrad Hirsch from Eaton, also a member of Severance 4-H. Fourth to Rowan Glenn from Windsor, a member of Severance FFA. Fifth to Julia Spower from Johnstown, member of Calico and Jeans 4-H Club. Sixth to Tanner Brazil from Windsor, Severance 4-H Club. Seventh to Madison Carson from Greeley, a member of Eaton FFA. Eighth to Elizabeth Elliott from LaSalle, a member of High Plains 4-H Club. Ninth to Cameron Husey from Stoneham, a member of New Raymer FFA. And 10th to Brooke Morgan from LaSalle, a member of the High Plains 4-H Club. We're now moving into our champion and reserve champion from each of our breed divisions. We start with our other breeds division. Bringing them out, we've got first place spring heifer calf, Mystic, a milking shorthorn, shown by Kiliana Brewer. We have our first place winter heifer calf, also owned by Kiliana Brewer, name of Bailey. It's a Guernsey heifer. We have our first place fall heifer calf, exhibited by Mackenzie Cedar. The calf's name is T-Mills. It's a brown Swiss. We have our first place spring yearling, exhibited by Kinsley Dutcher. Calf's name is Virginia, a brown Swiss heifer. Then we have our first place fall yearling heifer, also owned by Kinsley Dutcher. Rapture is the calf's name, a milking shorthorn. And we have our second place fall yearling, owned by Denham Dutcher. Cameron is the calf's name, and it's an Ayrshire heifer. So our judge will be selecting our top two, our champion and reserve champion, and those two animals will come back in for supreme champion once we're done with the breed champion classes.
Most of these animals in here were single entries. The pair of reds back here are the only ones that was first and second. All nice representation of the breeds. I'm going to go and pick my reserve. Actually, I might pick an honorable mention, reserve, and then the champion. For the junior champion today, I am going to start out with the Guernsey. Very sharp, very dairy, upstanding heifer, good feet and legs, great depth of body. Top line is just as straight as an arrow. The same thing with the Ayrshire. The Ayrshire follows in her footsteps. Very deep, very strong over the top, thin in the thighs. And then honorable mention, I'm going to go with the Swiss, who will also be the best Swiss of the show. Nothing against any of these others in the class. All of them are a little overconditioned today to stand any higher in this class, but very good animals.
Congratulations to Kiliana Brewer with her Guernsey heifer Bailey for being selected as the champion junior female in the other breeds division. Kiliana also had the reserve champion with her heifer Mystic. And then Mackenzie Cedar with her heifer T Mills was the honorable mention and also selected as the best brown Swiss of the show. We're now moving to the Jersey Junior Champion Female Drive. We have 3 animals coming out. We have our first place Winter Heifer Calf, shown by Kiliana Brewer. Heifer's name is Cinnabon. We have our first place Winter Yearling, owned by Denham Dutcher. The heifer's name is Ginger. And our first place Fall Yearling, Braden Carpio with his heifer Raylin.
Okay, I won't leave any of these guys standing out by themselves. There'll be an honorable mention, a champion, and a reserve. Um, I'm going to go with this one with the champion. So go ahead and step on out. Um, the senior yearling with the reserve, and this one here. I really like this one, but when she stands, she starts to dip a little bit. She's not quite as strong over the top as the other two. Doesn't quite carry enough rib as the other two right now. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Kiliana Brewer with her winter heifer Cinnabon for being selected as the champion Jersey junior female. Reserve champion goes to Braden Carpia with his fall yearling Raylin, and honorable mention to Denham Dutcher with his winter yearling Ginger. We now come to the Holstein Junior Female Champion Drive. We have coming into the ring the first place spring heifer owned by Kiliana Brewer. The second place spring heifer owned by Vanessa Espinosa. Next, we have our first place winter heifer owned by Braden Carpio, followed by a second place winter heifer also owned by Braden Carpio. In the fall heifer class, Braden Carpio also had the first place there. Molly Helzer had the second place fall heifer calf. Spring yearling, we had a single entry. First place was Braden Carpio. Winter yearling, also a single entry class. First place went to Samantha Kimbriel. In the fall yearling class, first place was Abigail Chapman. And then from our replacement heifer class, we had first place Molly Helzer and second place Tyson Brazil. This is your lineup for the Holstein Junior Champion Female.
Nice heifers. I'd take any one of these home. I think the more I look at them, the more I'll talk myself out of a placing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the ones that really catch my eye, and I'll do the champion, reserve, and honorable mention. The replacement heifer caught my eye and has stayed with me the time she walked in the ring. Um, Very tall, upstanding, sharp, very correct on her feet and legs. Um, the one I have in reserve follows along that line. I just like the length of body and depth of body over over my champion to the reserve. But I'd take any one of them. The little one, the spring calf, caught my eye right off the bat too. I'd like to see her stand a little bit higher, but I think she just needs a little more maturity to place any higher in the class today. All of them excellent heifers.
Congratulations to Molly Helzer with her first place replacement heifer, Anastasia, on being selected the champion junior female in the Holstein division. Braden Carpio had the reserve champion with his heifer called Tough Love, the first place spring yearling. And Kiliana Brewer with her first place spring heifer calf was honorable mention. We'll now bring in all of our champion and reserve champions for Supreme. Coming out for our Supreme Champion Junior Female, we have from the Other Breeds division, we have our champion, which was owned by Kiliana Brewer, with her first place winter heifer, a Guernsey named Bailey, and the reserve champion, also owned by Kiliana Brewer. Heifer's name is Mystic. She was the first place spring heifer, the Milking Shorthorn. From the Jersey division, we had our champion, owned by Kiliana Brewer, the first place winter heifer named Cinnabon, and the reserve champion, owned by Braden Carpio, a fall yearling named Raylin. And then from the Holstein division, our champion was Molly Helzer with Anastasia, coming from the replacement heifer class. And our reserve champion, owned by Braden Carpio, heifer's name is Tough Love, coming from the spring yearling class. This would also be a good time to recognize and thank our judge for the day, Tina Pullman from Colorado, who is a longtime dairy project heifer or dairy project leader in Colorado. And she and her husband have worked with kids over in the Boulder County area and have been very active with the dairy judging and show in Boulder County. And we thank Tina for the work that she's done as our judge today.
Do you have an honorable mention on this one too? Just, okay. Choices. And I guess, you know, we each have our own way of choosing what we like, what we don't like. I'm looking at them as trying to compare them to the ideal breed. And all of these guys really catch my eye to their breed standards. So makes it tough. But I'm going to go with Supreme Champion with this one right here. So step on forward. And then this tall Holstein is my reserve, Supreme. For the dairy youth, Keith, second would be here. So you'll be second.
Congratulations to Kiliana Brewer with her Guernsey heifer, Bailey, being selected as the Supreme Junior Female. And to Molly Helzer with her first place replacement heifer, Anastasia, for being selected as Reserve Supreme. There was also a second award given that is sponsored by the Colorado Dairy Youth Foundation. It's the Dairy Youth, that's the Colorado Dairy Youth Foundation Award. First place there goes to our Supreme Champion winner, Kiliana Brewer, with her Guernsey heifer. And second place, Dairy Youth Foundation winner, goes to Braden Carpio with his first place Holstein Spring Yearling, Tough Love. Those two individuals will receive a special cash award for those recognitions.
For our dry cow class, we have a single entry, very worthy of a first place. Um, Tall, upstanding, correct feet and legs, very sharp, prominent, and nice spring of rib. Nice cow.
In our senior female division, we start with the Holstein Dry Cow, and first place there goes to Molly Helzer from LaSalle, a member of Platte River Ag 4-H. Next, we have a Jersey 2-year-old coming into the ring, exhibited by Vanessa Espinosa.
A single entry Jersey, pretty well put together heifer or cow, smooth blending in the front end of her body, long, strong fore udder. I'd like to see a little higher rear udder and a little more strength in the median suspension, but otherwise a very, very nice cow.
Congratulations to Vanessa Espinosa with her first place Jersey 2-year-old cow. And we now have a single entry in our Holstein 2-year-old cow class.
Single entry, 2-year-old cow, well deserving of the first place. Um, Very sharp, dairy, prominent cow. I'd like to see a little more competition with her. Um, Very nice udder. I'd like to see, especially the right side fore udder, be a little snugger into her body, but overall, a very nice uddered cow.
Braden Carpio is the exhibitor of our first place Holstein 2-year-old cow. Braden is from Kersey, Colorado, and a member of Westward 4-H. And we now have a single entry in our Jersey age cow class. Following that class, we'll select our champion senior females.
Nice 6-year-old Jersey cow. Getting ready to go dry. She looks like she's still pumping it out. Nice strong udder for having 4 calves. She is a little over conditioned right now, but she's very deserving, um, keeping that first place. For 4 calves, she's got, nice udder well above her hocks. Nice balanced udder.
And congratulations to Denham Dutcher from Fort Lupton, Colorado, with his first place Jersey age cow. We'll now select our breed champions. So, first in the ring, we have our Holstein cows. We have Molly Helzer with her dry cow named Ember, and Braden Carpio with his Holstein 2-year-old cow named Peace and Plenty Hank Jubb.
Nice pair of Holstein cows. I think for my champion Holstein, I'm going to have to go with the 2-year-old that's in milk over the dry cow. I admire both these animals as far as overall body and udder quality for the stage of milking condition they're in today. I think they're in very good condition. I just cannot place a dry cow over an uddered cow like this. So champion and reserve.
Congratulations to Braden Carpio with his first place Holstein 2-year-old cow being selected as the champion Holstein senior female. And Molly Helzer with her Holstein dry cow being selected as the reserve champion. We now go to the Jersey senior champion female drive. We have Vanessa Espinosa with her first place 2-year-old cow, and Denham Dutcher with his first place Jersey age cow coming into the ring. A reminder for those of you who are interested in the dairy heifer replacement sale that will be coming up here at 1 o'clock or so. They'll be set up here at the announcers table shortly to get people registered for purchases or for add-ons for any of the individuals. In addition, there are some programs for that sale that are up here available to you to pick up at this time.
Again, nice pair of jerseys. Both were first in their classes. Would really like to see a little more competition with both of them. I think at this stage, the milking, I think I'm going to go with the aged cow as our champion and then our 2-year-old as reserve, primarily on the levelness of udder for a 6-year-old cow, 4 calves. She's got a nice udder as far as high above the hocks, high rear udder. The 2-year-old cow is a little, her balance of her udder isn't quite there. She may, as she comes along, in more stages of milking, I'd like to see that udder floor be a little more level and a little higher in the rear udder to stand at the champion right now.
Congratulations to Denham Dutcher with his aged Jersey cow being selected as the champion Jersey senior female, and to Vanessa Espinosa with her first place 2-year-old cow being selected as the reserve champion Jersey senior female. And now we'll bring the Holsteins back in the ring to compete for Supreme Champion Senior Female.
For the Supreme, got some nice cows out here. The pair of Holsteins are really tall, sharp, show a lot of dairy character. Um, Unfortunately, I have one that is dry, so I can't really see the udder quality at its best. The 2-year-old Holstein has got a nice udder, tight, um, very strong, and overall body is very dairy throughout. Good cow. Our jerseys, the champion cow, to me is got shows a lot of potential for dairy character. Right now she's over conditioned, but she's got an udder that is carrying well above hocks for her age. Still shows a lot of milking capacity to this udder, even though she's about ready to go dry. The younger cow, I'd like to see another year under her belt to place her much very high. I'm going to go with the Supreme Champion is the um, black and white Holstein, and I think I'm going to go with Reserve Supreme with our Jersey Champion. Um, and I believe. Do you qualify for Dairy Youth? So both of these, I believe, qualify for first and second Dairy Youth. Okay.
Congratulations to Braden Carpio with his first place Holstein 2-year-old cow being selected as the Supreme Champion Senior Female, and also selected first place for your Colorado Dairy Youth Foundation Award. And to Denham Dutcher with his Jersey age cow being selected as the Reserve Supreme Champion in the senior division, as well as the second place Colorado Dairy Youth Foundation Award winner. We now we have a couple of group classes before we finish up the show. We have an exhibitors herd, which, as the name implies, are animals owned by the exhibitor, and they can be made up of 3 animals, any age. 3 of any age, all owned by one exhibitor.
Can whoever's the herd person raise your hand on each group? Okay, thank you. Okay, for first place in this group, I think I'm going to go with the Holstein group to my right. We have our grand champion, supreme champion, and higher up on the line in the for the heifer class. Um, all are very sharp. Dairy show a lot of dairy character. Um, so I'm going to go with this class. We do have one in milk. Granted, we have a dry cow, another one in milk. I am going to go with the other Holstein to my left as second place. Again, follows more to my first place, being sharp, prominent, a lot of dairy character in all of them. Great feet and legs. Third, nothing taken away from third place, but we've got a couple animals that are a little over conditioned compared to the others in the class. So, but overall, nice herds, nice group of animals. Thank you.
In our exhibitors herd, first place goes to Braden Carpio, second to Molly Helzer, and third to Denham Dutcher. Our final class in our dairy show today will be the club herd. The club herd is any breed or breeds, 5 animals, and owned by at least 2 exhibitors in that club. So it's 5 animals of any breed owned by at least 2 different exhibitors in that club.
Okay, we have two groups or two herds from two different clubs. One herd we have from 2 owners, and here we have from 4 owners. So, anyway, nice bunch of animals. I wish my county could get this many clubs together to support a class like this. However, I think I'm going to go with first place on the Holstein. Well, I guess it's Holstein and Jersey group with a Guernsey thrown in. Most of these animals were on the upper end of their classes when they were showing. Very good representation of all the dairy breeds. They're missing 2 breeds, but overall, very good representation. Nice way you have it set up from height going on down. Also is a good representation of the animals as well. Nothing taken away from this group. A lot of dairy character, a lot of sharpness. If you're going to do a presentation, I suggest maybe go from large to small. Make it a little easier to see. This isn't bad, but good representation here. Again, we got 3 breeds represented. Very good. But second place, first place.
Congratulations to the Westward 4-H Club with having the first place club herd. And second place to the Platte River Pioneers 4-H Club. Congratulations to both of them. That concludes our dairy show. Once again, we will be having the dairy heifer replacement project sale right here under the tent in about a half an hour or a little bit more. So please come back and support the sale. They'll be registering for the sale buyers up here shortly. And there are some catalogs here for all of the heifers that are in the sale. Once again, thanks to our judge, Tina Pullman, for her job in judging our show. And we hope to see everybody back here for the sale.